A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart's family carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or whether you should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart, and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes, plus enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer. You ask me. I'll tell you anything.
Well, I had a baby. Why wait? Why do the podcast thing where we like draw it out? I got plenty of content.
Right. If you start out like, I have something that I want to share with everyone.
Nice.
I mean, and this is after last week's episode where you had to record because the baby hadn't come yet. And you were kind of like, well, I hope it's here by the next episode. And it was.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm going to tell you the abridged version of this because every woman has their birthing story. And I have to be honest, I'm kind of glad to be recording it like this because there's such a connection that I'm so grateful for and an exchange when you talk to other women that have gone through this. But what I have found is that a lot of sharing is less a dialogue and more each person's having a monologue about their birthing experience, their child, and the words are just pinging off of each other. Versus actually hearing it. And it's actually my least favorite type of conversation. Like I just got out of the hospital and I'm telling a friend and she's like, yeah, well, when I went in, da-da-da-da-da. And you're like, okay, I don't care about you, your baby. Like give me 5 minutes to act like I'm the only one that's ever given birth. And then I'll join the rank and file of mothers. But so here's the...
And I can't, I'm not going to say, well, when I pulled my cat out of that car engine.
I mean, you can only sit there and be in awe and in shock and horrified. Long story short is her second due date was the 13th. And Noah and I had just decided, like, look, we're very lucky. We have this time. We don't go anywhere because of COVID. So it's not like I can go do a set because I'm trying to be safe because everyone has it. Because I have the ability to do it. So we decided, you know what? We'll look at this like a gift. We're going to get up every morning. We'll go for a fun coffee. We'll pick a hike. We'll get lunch, and we watch a movie, like a Criterion Collection movie. So no big deal. And we'll make a thing out of it. And it's slow and it's whatever, but that's okay. Like there are worse things. And so it was like day 4 of doing this. We went for a hike and we're eating and I get a call from the doctor's office. There's this generic voice that a lot of office administrator workers in LA have, especially medical offices. It's this like female sort of low tone, like, hi, this is Angela calling from Dr. Smith's office. I just want to, like, I don't know who, like, we have to teach women, like, speak with confidence. Hi, this is Emily. I'm calling, like, try to sound like a robot. They all just sound like kind of beaten down. I'm calling to just check up. If you could call me back at a phone tree that will never answer again. So this girl calls, so I call back. She's like, hi, the doctor was actually able to get you an induction appointment. So I wanted to go ahead and see if you wanted to confirm that. And I was like, not with you. Over the phone. I need to talk to a doctor. I didn't know this was happening. I'm not just going to blindly say that. So the doctor calls me. The hospital wasn't scheduling inductions because of COVID. And she was like, but we change policy as we do every 10 minutes. And I got you one for Thursday. And that day was Wednesday. She goes, I got you one for Thursday night at 8:00. And I was like, who could eat? Like, I'm just supposed to sit here for the next 36 hours and like think about this? Like, no. I said, can we go now? Can we go tonight? So she checked and she said, I got you in for tonight. So Noah and I went home. I cleaned the whole house. I blow dried my hair because I was not going to meet my daughter with curly hair. Because I just had this, I was like, I want to come home to like a clean house, have it ready. I texted the baby nurse we hired and my assistant. Got with her because I was like, it'd be great to have her there if she needs time to get settled, whatever. And I put on my outfit and I packed my gua sha tools and we went in. And the only thing I decided to keep myself ignorant about this experience, like your birth plan is irrelevant because if the baby wants to come out through your nose, that's what's happening. And I was like, I know everything will be fine. So I'd like a walking epidural, which is where you get an epidural, but it's not so strong so you can walk, you can move your legs because I wanted to move around. You've seen my act. I wanted to move around. The only thing I didn't want was this thing called a Foley balloon, which a friend had gotten. And she said it was the worst pain of her life. And I was like, whatever, that won't be me. I get there. First thing, they're like, you need a Foley balloon, which is a balloon. It's a rubber tube. I hope you're listening, that they put in your cervix to dilate it from 1 centimeter to 3. And it is the most painful thing. Like, I'd be surprised if they didn't use these in Guantanamo Bay. It was so horrific. And to dull the pain, they give you fentanyl. Another thing, I was like, I don't know, it's just too many drugs. The second they gave me the fentanyl, I was like, oh, I see how half the country's addicted to this. This is incredible. And they put the balloon in. It was in for 1 second. And I was like, get this out of me. Like, take the, like, you almost can't speak. It's so painful. I took it out. And she goes, well, you're going to have a longer induction if we can't get you to 3 centimeters. I was like, I will take the long road. I will pass go. I will collect $200. Like, I will go as many rounds. I cannot do that again. And it was so horrific that all my subsequent contractions for the next like 2 hours, I like didn't care because that was so horrible. The good news is I've been to the top of the pain mountain and I've seen it. Then they give you an epidural, your legs stop working, and they put in a catheter. So you're just peeing into a bag. You can't feel the catheter. And I'm here to tell you, it was one of the best vacations I've ever had. Because when you're pregnant, you're just getting up to pee constantly. And she was like, you're already peeing. And I didn't even know it. So I'm just laying there peeing. And honestly, because you can't move and they have to come in and kind of help you turn, it was like I was on my 600-pound life.
The dream.
Like I was on limited intake for food. So it's like limited calories. And they'd come in and they'd like change me. And that is what it is. That's the majority of it because I was induced 27 hours of that with really intense contractions, which are painful. But because you're taking opioids, you start to itch. So I had to keep measuring, like, do I want more epidural or do I want to itch? Like, and you can't scratch it. And then you take Benadryl to stop the itching. And you're just like ping-ponging. And you're just waiting for your cervix to dilate. Wait till the next day. You're eating only Jell-O, only applesauce, chicken broth, watching tons of The Office, trying to watch the new season of Cheer, finding it very boring. And then she came in at 6:00. She was like, you're at 6 centimeters. We was like, need to get you to 10. She was like, maybe it's tonight, maybe it's tomorrow. I was like, it's not tomorrow. Like, it's going to be tonight. I want to go home. 10:00, she comes in and she checks. And she was like, you're at 10 centimeters. Let's have a baby. And I perked right up. I was like, let's do it. You can't have your epidural while you're pushing. The second they start pushing, the room starts changing. They wheel in the baby bed. They take the monitors off, like your epidural fades because you need to feel the pressure so that you know to push. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and no one ever talks about this. As I'm pushing, I can feel the hemorrhoids developing. Like you can feel them happening. I broke every single blood vessel around both eyes. You're pushing, and every push, the things they say are designed. They're like, 2 more minutes, she'll be in your arms. Another couple pushes, she'll be here. It was not true. It was 75 minutes, but you can feel the head like it pops out. That's why when people are like, pop out a few kids, I'm like, the popping, like you push. It's not like, I'll just do like pop them in like Mentos. But it was all worth it. And they put this little baby on my chest. And I looked at her and I was like, who are you? You look nothing like me. The doctor's like, she has dark brown hair. And I'm like, her father slept with someone else. I don't know. You didn't get it from me. And that's the story. And then all I wanted to do was go home, and getting out of the hospital was like Thunderdome. Like, she passed all of her tests, and then at the buzzer, they're like, she might have jaundice. I'm like, well, come back tomorrow. I have to go home. And then they're like, and then we get the car seat, and we can't figure out the shoulder straps, and you're just sitting there bleeding, sweating, hungry. And we got her home, and it's been about a week. It's been about 5 days, and she's just sweet angel baby. That's it. That's the story.
You want to talk about the sandwich you ate?
And then that's the other thing. Every woman always talks about like, oh, I ate sushi right on the table. I had a Big Mac. There was no food. I gave birth at 11:27 p.m. By the time we were in the teeny tiny recovery room, the recovery closet, it was like 1 a.m. There's nothing. They don't care that you just gave birth. Like, there's no kitchen. There's no like mommy snack. One lady was like, I think there's turkey sandwiches. There were no turkey sandwiches. So my husband comes back with vending machine snacks, like wearing fucking Orange is the New Black, like trying to negotiate safe passage. And so I had a godmother from Bay Cities the next day, and I didn't even eat it. I just unhinged my snake jaw and I swallowed it whole. And my daughter saw that.
Good. She should know. Have you investigated? Like, are you someone that cares about what zodiac sign she is or anything like that? Because she came on the day that she was supposed to come.
The fact that I only know she's a Capricorn from people telling it to me. It's not something that resonates with me as deeply as it does for many. She's a hot Cappy. Hot Cappy.
No, don't say that. Don't say that about her. What have you shared? You haven't shared her name on here.
Her name is Sierra May, and we wanted her to have a name evocative of nature. A Sierra is an irregular mountain range. We wanted a nature connection, and May is M-A-E. It just flows. The last name is Galutin, and so you can't get too fancy with the first name because it's a lot of glottal stops. But I like May because it's like a tiny nod to like a very Texan thing. And while we didn't name her like Tallulah, we definitely want just something. So Sierra May, my little chicken.
When I think of you, I think about your love for nature. That's the first thing.
But I do enjoy being barefoot on grass. And so there's not a lot of nature names that are like, you can't name your kid Moss or Lichen.
No, you picked a good one. You picked a good name that's not so weird that no one will be able to spell it, but it's like there's not going to be 18 of them in our class.
I'll tell you what, what name we wanted? The name I wanted forever was Amaranth, like an amaranth plant. But Amaranth Smith is one thing. Amaranth Gluten it's going to get you beaten up. So
I don't know, beaten up so much as just
it's going to be
exactly what you deal with.
Yeah, I went my whole life. No one made fun of my name. And as an adult, it's like, oh, Schafflinger. Like, kill yourself. So that's the story. She's my baby. And the good thing about having a baby is, I think before you have a baby, you're like, oh, what does my vagina look like? And then you have one, you're like, oh, now I know because it's halfway down my thigh. There it is. Get a nice look.
I think the other things people will be asking are what's up with Sierra and Tianfu, friends, enemies, tentative.
Tianfu was not impressed, growled a little, but never aggressive, and hid. Spent the first night in the closet. Then she spent the second night under the bed growling. You'd be like, where's Tianfu? And you just hear like, from like under the bed. And today she sniffed her for like 30 seconds. Sits with me while I breastfeed. Tianfu is anywhere from nonplussed to mildly interested to trepidatious, but never aggressive and never an issue.
No.
She's sitting right here.
No.
And the second she sees the baby isn't in the room, she'll come in. I don't want to be the mom that's like, another funny thing that happens in my house with my pet and my baby. So I'll cherry pick the best things. And the one that I actually, you know what? I'll save it. I'll save it for a bottom of the cob.
Oh.
Yeah.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I know being thankful is on everyone's minds, and with thankfulness comes gratitude, a concept that, honestly, really bothers me. I'm tired of thanking everyone else. You know who deserves a thank you? Me. You deserve a thank you. When's the last time you thanked yourself? Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we are doing the absolute best we can So here I am reminding you to send some thanks to the people in your life, but mostly send some thanks to yourself. And a great way to do that is with therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. You don't have to travel anywhere. They take the hassle out of finding that perfect therapist. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Eliza today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Eliza. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, well, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Eliza50 and use code Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Eliza50 at factormeals.com/Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Eliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Eliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Okay, so we're ready with your questions. And yeah.
we have a juicy update. It's not as juicy as you giving birth to a full baby.
Juicy baby.
A juicy baby with a full head of hair. Good for her. But a juicy update to the mom that was staying with the daughter that would want to use the bath when it was baby's bath time.
The selfish mom.
Move out, that wouldn't look for a place. The selfish mom. So our question asker wrote in and said, I talked to my mom. I typed up this really well thought out letter so I wouldn't get jumbled up when I spoke to her. I said things like, keep the forward momentum and gain more freedoms. She took it better than I thought. Then after I was all done, she looked me right in the face and said, I'm trying to heal my body, so moving out isn't something I'm concentrating on right now.
What?
So I reached out to my mom's therapist and filled her in on what transpired. The therapist said she'd work on it, but not sure when that will be or how long it will take. So then...
Is your mother committed? Like, that's weird that you're like conspiring with the therapist. Like, let's get her to a place where she just wants to do housework.
Then we got a further update. My mom ran away. She took off to meet some random stranger she talks to on Facebook and didn't tell anyone where she was. After none of us heard from her for 27 hours, I finally got her to answer her phone.
Oh my God.
She said she snuck off to avoid answering hundreds of questions. I told her over the phone that she was no longer welcome in my home after this stunt and she can pick up her things if or when she makes it back home. Thanks for all the advice and truths you said. I needed to hear it read back to me to realize how crazy the situation was. This isn't the outcome any of us imagined, but at least the unstableness isn't around my daughter anymore. Much love to the whole family. So Her running away is the best case scenario.
I mean, it sounds like your mom has like a real case of arrested development and she's acting like a child. She was acting like a child and then she was acting like a teenager. You know what? Good riddance. Your mom has some healing her body. It sounds like she has some mental healing to do, which is great, but it cannot be on you, especially if you have a baby. And I understand that because I have a baby. As a mother, I'm going to start prefacing everything with as a mother, as a recent mother. Good for you. I'm glad that resolved itself. Note or no note. I mean, maybe the note pushed her to like get out of there. Great.
To flee.
By hook or by crook.
I just love that it's like my mom ran away.
I know. Like, how do you tell the cops like a middle-aged woman ran away?
Ran away from home.
That's like a great angle for a crime novel because it's always like when a woman goes missing, when a ballerina goes missing, it's like when her mom runs away. Shelby sets out
where she was staying.
Yeah.
Imposing herself.
Yeah. That's really funny that she took the bath away from the baby. Took the bath water away from the baby. All right.
Hi, Liza and Emily. The pod is the highlight of my week. And as I'm sure every listener can relate, hearing our questions answered makes our hearts happy.
Love it.
I would like some advice on how to slow down. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 2 years. He's 21, male. I'm 24, female. And he is the one. We were friends before we got together, and then when both of us were single, we just perfectly fell together. I've had some long-term relationships before this, and they both just weren't the men for me. But this guy is. I would have never dreamed to find someone so perfect. We both feel the same about each other in the future. But how do I fight the urge to go super fast? I want to move in, get married, everything basically as soon as possible because I love him more than I thought I'd ever love someone. How can I relax and pace myself? I want to savor every phase of my life. But since being with him, I just want to rush right into our lives. I'm so beyond happy for you and your life.
Thank you. I hope you wrote this question recently and we're not getting to it like 6 months later. She's like, update. I did it. It was a mistake.
Yeah, no.
Look,
we should be getting in quick enough for her not to already be married at 24 and 21.
Yeah, before you rent the U-Haul, look, it actually doesn't matter what I tell you because you're going to do like our teenage mother, our middle-aged teenage mother in the last question. You're going to do whatever you want to do. And the feelings are super strong because you're at that age where probably a lot of people around you, because you probably don't live in LA, right? Where everyone's like old and getting married. So you're probably at that age where like a lot of people around you are getting married. You know, you're hitting that wave. He is not at that wave. And so you might want to check in with him and his feelings. I'm going to just be the old person. It's like you have a lot of growing to do. It doesn't mean that you're not grown up. It doesn't mean that you haven't had a hard life or struggles, whatever, but you have so much coming into your own to do and you have time. So move in together, you know, have experiences together where you really get to know each other's character, family, outings together, holidays together, boring days together, things that, you know, this is your person. And then, you know, you see in a year. How long have they been together?
2 years.
Oh, sorry. I missed that part. All right. Yeah, you're fine.
But I think almost 2 years.
Just be you know what? If you really love him, just be cognizant of the fact that he's 21. So just give it a beat. It's not like you're 35 and he's 21 and you're like, we got to get a move on. So for his heart and his sake, even though men do not extend that courtesy to women, they're like, I found one. She was just born. I'm ready to date. Take it, be as fast as you want emotionally. You already love each other. It's 2 years, but at 21, you know, he's probably not the man that he's going to be. So what's wrong with what you're doing now? How much you want to get married? Is that the whole? So let's say you're married. It doesn't really change much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my answer is, what do you want to lock it down? What does he say? I say you're in no rush, but it doesn't matter because you're going to be like, great. Thanks for your answer, old mom. On to the church. Old mom.
Old mom. Okay, let's get back to another baby question. I need Iliza to tell us how bad labor is. Every woman I ask just says it's not that bad and only wants to talk about how great the baby is.
Well,
I simply don't believe them. Iliza, as everyone's big sister, please shoot it to us straight. What does it feel like? Also, I cried real tears at Eliza's new baby post. I'm so proud of her. I love watching Iliza shine in all her roles over the years, but I think seeing her be a mom is a new favorite.
Ugh, that is so sweet. It is so sweet. Here's why everybody talks about the good stuff. First of all, why would you want to talk about going to war? Ask your grandpa if he's killed anyone in battle. He'll go quiet. There's a reason veterans don't talk about it. But actually, on the other end of the spectrum, the reason women don't talk about it is because it's chemically hard to remember. When you are in labor, your body releases oxytocin. It's the same chemical your body releases when you have sex with someone, which is why you get so clingy. But the oxytocin actually helps you to forget the pain, which is why women sign up for this over and over and over. It is hard to remember. In the moment, I remember saying, as I was at 10 centimeters and her head was coming out, and it was the most intense pressure, which is comparable to pain. It's not like stabbing pain. It's just this pressure. You're like, oh my God, like I'm getting wrecked down there. Even though they were like lubing it up, minimal tearing, whatever. It was this realization. I was like, oh my God, like the only way out is through. Literally and like spiritually. You can't hit pause. It's not a workout where you can set the weight down. It's not a race where you can stop running. You can't take a break. Like I had to just contend with the pain and exist with it for those 75 minutes. And it's mentally it makes you much tougher. Like just knowing like, it's just going to have to suck right now. And I told myself, I was like, all I can promise you is that you never have to come back here. You know, when you're working out and the instructor's like, all right, last round and you're done. And you're like, yeah. So I did the same thing. I was like, this is it. You never have to come back here. But honestly, I would do it again. It was brutal and I would do it again, even though it was so awful.
So the worst, most memorable part though was that balloon, huh? Like that was
I suggest you get the Foley balloon just so it's like you give yourself something to cry about. Like once you've experienced that, get an epidural. I get that there are women who don't do it, but get it and just get comfortable. You also don't have to have a long labor. If you're induced, you have a long, long labor, and that's why I did. Women who aren't induced typically don't have them as long. But these are all the choices we make. So,
but you didn't make the choice to do like a black and white photo shoot of you in a bra.
We did not.
As you gave birth.
You know what? Oh, there is a video. No, I had Noah take a video. It's not of the baby. It's like the second they put her on me. So you see a little bit of the umbilical cord in my reaction. I look like the Grinch. Like I understand. I already look like a Who or the Grinch, and I've got a Breathe Right strip on, and I am wearing MeUndies. I'm wearing like the Valentine's Day print bra. A lot of women are like topless. I was like, you're not going to catch me topless. I'm wearing that bra. And my hair was still straight, even though I was sweating. But that's it. Your body, look, this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. Women, particularly white women, and even more specifically, upper middle class women, listen to me, okay? So you can be any color in upper middle class, but this is definitely something that we do to white women who tend to be upper middle class. There is an entire industry out there trying to convince you that you can't do this without their product, their coaching, their special class, their ointment. And while I love all the gifts and all the support and stuff like that, like these are ancillary, just there to make it a little bit easier. Your body knows what to do. There are women that give birth in fields, pick up the baby, and like keep on plowing. Okay. There are women who do this, go right back to work. There are women that did this as refugees. They've done this in prison camps. Like women have been doing this under horrible circumstances. Your body knows what to do. Yes, things go wrong. Breastfeeding is its own thing, but like, please don't be convinced because somebody wants to sell you something that you need something more than your body. It releases the chemicals. It expands. It contracts. So just know that. That's all. That's my biggest takeaway from all of this. Because we thought there was something wrong with her. Because I was like, day one, I was like, where's all the milk? And then someone was like, oh, maybe she's tongue-tied. So cut to fucking 8 a.m., her like third day on the planet. We're in Westwood at a dentist office to see if she needs a laser because what no one said to me.
Oh, they thought she had the
frenum.
The skin.
What? And by the way, some babies are and some babies do. And the doctor was like, she's fine. What no one said to me was, hey, you don't get milk till day 4 or 5. Nobody's.
Why wouldn't someone tell you?
Or they did, and because I have because I just had a baby, I didn't listen. If you're a medical professional, let me just say one thing in terms of bedside manner, okay? And by the way, my doctor was incredible. Her resident was incredible. Actually, shout out to Dr. Karen Solke and Dr. Obasi and all of the incredible nurses at Cedars-Sinai. It was just, you give birth and then you have a team of Filipino nurses who do not fuck around. We're so attentive. I even wrote a review of one of them. She comes in, she's like,
Nice.
do you want me to put cream on your hemorrhoid? I was like, load up. They're in there. They don't give a fuck. And they burp your baby. And it looks terrifying. They hold the baby by the jaw and they burp it. And the baby loves it. So Noah and I, we do it the Filipino way. They were incredible. But I'm going to say this right now. For any specialist, any doctor, if I have an appointment with you and you tell me that you've put all the information in an email with a link to a digital toolkit, I will never open the email. I'm never going to read a patient resource link. I'm never opening the patient profile. I can't. It's just endless passwords and links and people being like, well, I set you up with the info. And it's like, no, what? Sorry.
This needs to be old school. This needs to be like when you got eye surgery, you got PRK, and they give you a piece of paper and there's here's what you can't do. That's what they need to do. They need to just be like, here's a piece of paper. The milk's coming in this day. Put some creams on there.
Here's what's
Live your
happening.
life.
Because you'll get so much conflicting information. It's almost not worth reading anything. I was like, what are good foods for breast milk? They're like, try to avoid dairy. And then another page was like, dairy products are great. And the truth is your body's going to figure it out and your baby figures it out. I was talking to Mayim Bialik because did you know she does lactation consultation? She does this stuff. She calls me yesterday. She's like, this is what I do. And I was like, no, what you do is you are a huge CBS sitcom star. Like a neuroscientist.
Star and genius.
She was like, your baby's cry is genetically, it is designed to make you cringe so that you pay attention to a baby. Everything is designed perfectly, including your body. Could be something wrong, but in my case, it wasn't. And I never had to open a digital toolkit or a patient portal profile.
Yeah, so if everyone could just call up Mayim Bialik for her.
She's there.
If she could just hang out at Cedars and hand out a little pamphlet maybe as people leave the building.
Not because I didn't feel I could do it, but I was sad to see those nurses go because they were so fucking on it.
Yeah.
And for that first stay, you're if the baby cries, you call them. You're like, because you don't know why it's crying. And they come in, they're like, oh, she's got a dirty diaper. Giving it, they do this all day, every day. One nurse was one of 10 kids. It makes you feel so supported.
Yeah.
And then you get home and you try to eat your baby's legs because they're tiny.
I mean, those little hands. So many little parts. If I was Chenfu, I would be real jealous over how little all those little parts are.
She's trying to figure out, she's like, why is this dog bald? Why is not bald?
Why is your little freak dog?
Why is your dog hairless?
It's a little tuft. Oh.
Why can't this dog bark?
So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, it's got a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
I feel for any woman who's listening to this that doesn't have a baby or can't have a baby or doesn't want a baby. This isn't the baby podcast, but I am allowed to have an episode.
Yeah, this one. Look, guys, we're gonna get back to everybody's problems with
We're doing them
their
now.
boyfriends. Yeah, we're gonna do one right now.
All right.
Hey, y'all. I'm gonna cut to the chase because this one's a doozy. I'm a 30-year-old woman. My sister is 27, and we both live in different cities, as does our dad. He told us to look out for something in the mail for Christmas. Even though all three of us grew up as weekly Catholic churchgoers, he's been extremely religious and active in the evangelical Christian church since we left for college, and coincidentally, since he married his now wife.
Yeah. Oh, he needed. Oh, I know.
We, on the other hand, have endured some questionable moments in our church upbringing that borderline on religious abuse, cornered by people trying to get me to accept Jesus as my savior, shit like that. So you can imagine, we want nothing to do with church or God or religion in general. What he wants to do is up to him, and if church and Jesus is what he wants, then by all means. Our Christmas gift arrived, and he has taken it upon himself to make a donation in my name and in my sister's name to an evangelical Christian charity. We even got a plaque, similar to the kind one would get for winning a spelling bee.
Probably costs as much as the donation, honestly.
Exactly. Ugh. But I'm not so sure this charity is really doing much of anything but cook the books and make some buttheads too much money.
Yeah.
I won't mention the name, but it's not one you've heard of before. The charity's website describes how they allocate their money, like helping the children experiencing famine find Jesus.
Oh, that's good. You know what they need to find is food.
My sister dug a little deeper and found some eyebrow-raising things homophobic in nature. Now, here's the kicker. My dad does not have a malicious bone in his body. His wife, on the other hand, she has some good days. But I want to show them how it makes me feel, regardless of how he might mean it, that this is blatantly disregarding my feelings. It's crossing lots of boundaries, putting my name on a donor list at some bigoted charity who decided to let a 6-year-old make their website is not cool. I tried the come to Jesus regarding these same things. It doesn't work. So here's my idea. My dad and his wife, as you can imagine, are not getting the COVID vaccine. Myself and my sister have been boosted and have tried every angle under the sun to try and get them on board, and it's just not happening. So what if we could donate to an entity that helps in the development or research of the COVID vaccine and just drop the mic? Honestly, I haven't looked into it at all, but my sister is not digging it. But I have to make my voice heard and do something, not nothing. Please help. Okay. Honestly, that is very funny.
It is, but it's also like, okay, so that's a drop in the bucket. What, you're going to donate to like Pfizer? Cool. They don't need your money.
Well, in their name, since they donated to something she doesn't believe in her name. So it's fully just to be petty.
I wish people would be this type of malicious because we get so many world problems solved and all you'd have to be is on like an email list. You know, at the end of the day, I think you found a reason to not like that church, but I think first of all, it sucks that you didn't get a present. It sucks that I hate to do this thing. We're blaming the stepmom, but it sucks that like you didn't get a present and she's like pulling the puppet strings on your dad. And like, it's like, okay, you don't remember me. It's not like they planted a tree in your name. Yeah. And I think you'd still be kind of just as annoyed if they were like, we made a donation to the Catholic Church in your name. I think you don't really like religion, which is totally fine. But this feels particularly not malintended, but, oblivious because it's such a shitty, shoddy organization, which the one that you chose. And so, you know, you could go back and forth like, I donated in this and I done that. I think there's a version where you just say, and by the way, the fact that they have your name, like you can block them on email. Like they don't have your bank account or anything. I think you just.
But it's if you get it in the mail, you're out of luck forever.
Maybe, or maybe it's like a homespun thing and it's not coming from Bed Bath & Beyond, which will find you like even after you've moved on to the great beyond and you're dead. It's not like it said like to resident, like it's coming to your house. I think your issue is that like she's kind of like body snatched your dad and they gave a gift that had nothing to do with you and everything to do with her. So the best you can, I know you're saying you had to come to Jesus, but you can just be very clear, like be like, we don't want religious donations in our name. Because if you do the other thing, like she'll just kind of ignore it. Look, men move on and need a woman to take care of them. And this is not uncommon where like an older guy like just kind of wants a woman and she just whatever. So all you can do is be clear. And you can definitely put them on a list, but then you're just signing your dad up for a bunch of junk mail. And that's all you can do. Is just be like, this is so offensive. We don't want this. How would you feel if I signed you up for like a Muslim community center? A Jewish community center, like you would not, a gay pride event. I think it'll cause you a lot of exhaustion, like trying to think of ways, because she's super single-minded. She thought this was a great idea, but your issue is less this and more that your dad's been body snatched.
Right. But you say you've had to come to Jesus with them, but also that your dad doesn't have a mean bone in his body. So I wonder if you explain to him exactly why this in particular is hurtful, like what this organization in particular has done, because you're saying you found evidence of them doing bad stuff.
Even though it's not that
really-
organization. But fair, but
No,
you have a
it's
case.
not.
At least you have a case
Right.
this time. Yeah, for sure.
Rather than like a general, like, hey, we're not into religion, but like, hey, when you put it in my name, it makes me feel like this. Because if he cares about you, hopefully he will take that as more having to do with you than just kind of the overall your problem with religion.
You could even say to her, be like, you want to make a donation in my name, like in theory, great, but a plaque was sent, and this plaque probably cost like $20 to make. So you really just wasted a bunch of money. There's a version where she really was well-meaning. The plaque feels a little extra versus like a digital plaque or a certificate. So
especially because this site is very not clear about what they actually put their money towards. I would bet if you look on any of those charity checkers,
she's not going to want to hear it.
That it's not.
You could do that.
Shit.
She's going to be like, well, they do good things. Like this woman, if you're into this kind of stuff, you're definitely not open to hearing facts. So you got to find a way to make peace with it. I do not suggest getting into a tit for tat over like who can donate to a more bogus or / legit charity.
Yeah.
All right.
How can I handle period talk with men? I work out regularly. I lift heavy. I do cardio just about every time I'm at the gym. And lately I've noticed during my period, I'm very tired. So I'll lift lighter or sometimes just walk. Gym friends, men mostly, will say that's an excuse for not going harder. Half the time I want to just say, bleed from your dick hole and then try and work out. But I feel that doesn't really help the understanding of men and periods in a proactive way. How can I explain this so men get it and hopefully be more understanding when the women in their lives just need that monthly break?
You don't need their respect. You are there to work out. You did not come there. Like, yes, it's nice to make friends, but once you can shift your mindset to like somebody that thinks like that is not, you don't need respect from that person. You don't need their approval. And you can simply say, I work out hard and I bleed hard. There is an iron loss when you bleed. Another word for that is anemia. It makes you tired. So I don't know how those two, I don't think you're anemic during your period, but you're losing blood and it makes you tired. So yes, you can pound red meat and spinach and like get it back up there. The other point is on your heaviest flow day, maybe rest. Don't go to the gym, but if you got to go, you don't need to impress them and you don't need their validation. And you can simply say like, I don't need you to understand it. That's it. Yeah. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them the time it's going to take to explain about a period because they never will get it. Good guys do. And they don't have to be bad guys, but like I bled on my sheets the other night because I could not wear a pad. I wore pants, but like I bled through. My husband did not bat an eye. No man I've ever dated has ever said gross, ew. Like real men fucking are afraid of it, get that it's brutal, may not fully get it, but definitely don't question it. And so that's it. Next time they're like, oh, it's just an excuse. You go, I don't need you to understand it and walk away. You just be like, I'm okay with you not understanding it. It's not on me to explain it to you. That's it. You got to just be okay with that for a lot of things in life.
You're not training for the Olympics to go like, what do they care how much you're lifting yourself? It has no effect on them.
Just be like, why are you so invested in how much I lift? Probably because they got a crush on you. Crush them. Your big old bloody labia. Ka-chunk. Okay.
My name is Lauren, recently married, looking to get pregnant this year. I have a pregnancy/birth question.
I know everything about birth because I don't know if you guys know, I just gave birth.
Exactly. What are things about pregnancy or giving birth that no one tells you are going to happen? Similar to the bleeding thing mentioned in this week's Bottom of the Cob. Thanks. Love the pod. Always look forward to Wednesdays. So I was thinking of that when you just shared about the milk not coming in for a few days. Remember you shared that after that appointment, they didn't tell you like, hey, you should take a pad. They were just like, good luck, chump.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that comes to mind that you were like, oh, they knew this and no one told me?
You will get hemorrhoids. Okay, not everybody does, but you will most likely get hemorrhoids from pushing. And that is really makes it hard because now your vagina hurts and you also can't sit. So I'm just like waddling around my house, which of course makes my whole body hurt. You may get hemorrhoids, you may not. But if you get a C-section, that's a whole other thing, and you can talk to someone about a C-section. The opioid itch. Not everybody gets it, but I did. So itchy. It may have been the fentanyl. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else they tell that nobody tells you. You fart a lot after. Like, yeah, pregnant women fart, but like, here's a great way to think about it that nobody thinks about. Your body grew an entire organ. That the placenta is an organ. And then you lost an entire organ. It's like losing any other organ, like a spleen or something. So the puffiness you see, like, yes, women gain weight, but like your belly is big after because your uterus has expanded to the size of a cantaloupe when it's normally the size of a pear. So give yourself a break. You're not fat. It is literally your uterus. And usually even if you're not pregnant, like that puffiness down there is not fat. It's your uterus. Hospitals can be cruel. They definitely called my recovery room to ask for a credit card payment for my copay while I was laying there. And I was like, this isn't on record in one of the 8,000 emails you send me a day, okay? They don't tell you that sometimes your hospital doesn't have food after you give birth, especially late at night. Like
You would think that at night somebody would have like some fruit for you
like
or something.
A mom, like a first-time mommy sandwich, like something that they have.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Of course, everybody talks about the exhaustion. Nobody really talks about how often you should breastfeed. I'm sure they do. You know what? I should have opened the client toolkit. You know what? Here's the thing. People do talk about, I got this book called Mommy 411 that I definitely like glanced at. People do talk about these things. You just really have to seek out that specific knowledge because there's so many ways to give birth, so many. A C-section, it came out of your butt. You had a vaginal birth. You had an epidural. You didn't. You had preeclampsia. So it's less that they're withholding it, more that there's just so much info. I also don't tell you that it's not your doctor will maybe be there, but like a resident is most likely going to be attending to you. And when they told me that, I was like, absolutely not. I want a real doctor. They're like, well, they are real doctors. And I was like, and they explained, I didn't think about it. There's one doctor overseeing all the residents. Because in your mind, you're thinking like some 21-year-old kid from like House or something is just like hanging out. And I was like, fine, but no boys. Because I think about like some fucking frat guy that's like, yeah, I'm going to be like, just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're like an emotionally intelligent person. And I think of some of the kids that I know that are doctors. I'm like, I have seen you butt chug a beer. So I don't want you in here. They put a sign on my door that said females only. And I'm like, am I going to get sued for this again? They put a sign as females only because I was just like, at least, oh my God, I'm leaking through my shirt. Oh my God.
You need to go do something about that.
It's the first time that's happened. That's so gnarly.
All this because you were talking about
the baby.
About breast milk too much. And your body's like, I can do it now.
Oh my God. I'll tell you, it is a journey because I'm just going to say this real quick. You're getting like a little bit of milk. And so they were like, you can hand extract, which is medieval. So I'm doing it. I'm getting like colostrum mixed with the milk. I'm getting little bits. So I'm literally sitting there. I'd order these plastic syringes. So it's not a needle. It's just the suck part of the shot. Noah's sitting there. We're catching it in a spoon. Because it's a drop at a time, and then we're sucking it up with the syringe. We look like the parents in Train Spotting, like full-on heroin addicts, and we're just harvesting the precious liquid. And then all of a sudden, it came squirting out, and it like clicked. It was just like, oh my! Like in that moment, I was like, oh my God, I've been cheated. I could do this myself. I can't believe it leaked. Oh my God. I don't
need to get your spoon?
No, I'm okay. Most of my clothes are just t-shirts. It's just gonna get my spoon.
Okay.
We'll just feed a baby later, I suppose.
All right.
Anyway, what the hell were we talking about? So yeah,
the surprises. This is one.
That's one.
My important question: can you have coffee now, or you have to wait till you're not breastfeeding?
Let me tell you this: I had 1 cup of coffee a day my whole pregnancy. Baby is fine. But I took that cup very seriously. You can have coffee now. You can also drink. Look, I'm not a doctor. Medical warning. The lactation consultant was like, first of all, the idea of pumping and dumping, like it's so precious. I'm like, I'm not dumping anything. And she was like, if you're drinking that much a day, like it's a bigger conversation. She was like, your body metabolizes it. That being said, brewer's yeast allegedly is really good for breast milk. So I'll have like half a beer. It's tasty. Anyway, the thing they don't tell you is you need to ask questions, and a lot of times it just happens and then you're like, oh, no one told me. So yeah, just know there's hemorrhoids and there's bleeding, and here's something. I'd like to do a PSA, a free PSA for your perineum is going to hurt. That is the skin between your vagina and your butthole, okay? That's what gets stretched, okay? Get you a perineum like care kit. There's a company called Frida. My manager gifted me one. It's a beautiful pink box, and in it there's like 4 pairs of disposable boy shorts because you only get so many from the hospital. There are really absorbent soft pads, witch hazel pads, cream. There's like all the things you need. Ice packs that are also pads that cool your vagina. It's a great gift to give yourself or to give another mom that had a vaginal delivery. Like all these things designed to just kind of cool the area. Mm-hmm. So be aware that you're going to need to take care of that. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't care if that.
I guess it's like you don't think about it.
Yeah, don't tell your gym bros when they find out a woman's got a perineum that rips. Even if you don't rip, it's still, your vagina's like, I'm so tired.
Yeah, a lot going on down there.
So those are the things. But the info's out there. It's just hard to take it in. And I get it because I read almost nothing. So I was like, I got this.
It's too much. And 90% of it's not going to apply to you. And you're not going to know to look for the things it does. It's like when you bought a house and it's like, oh, why would we know to look and see if these handrails are attached or whatever?
Yes.
You don't think of it until you're like, oh, this isn't here. What do we do?
Caveat birther. Kick it.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Got a tough situation going on. I've had this friend for almost 10 years. We met as teenagers and been through everything together. We've had ups and downs, but always come through the other side. One day, I was hanging out with my childhood best friend who I hadn't seen in a long time, as we're both working, and it's rare we have the same time off. I also hang out with 2 of my cousins who are my best friends.
Okay.
And this friend...
Yeah, we get it. You have a lot of best friends. Okay.
Texted me when I was out saying how I never make time for her. And no matter how busy she is, she always makes time for the people in her life. It made me an absolute a-hole, but at the same time, she always hangs out with her boyfriend. And every time we've agreed to have a girls' day with just us 2, she's either always texting, calling him, or worse, brings him along without telling me. I don't not like him, but it's hard for me to talk to her about certain things. I hate that.
That's my biggest pet peeve.
When he's there, we met up to have a conversation about everything, and I tried to explain to her we're adults with jobs, etc. Should I completely dump her or try to reconcile things? P.S. I took your advice about advancing in my job and turned out good in my favor. P.S. The last thing she told me is balls in your court, which is complete ultimatum language, in my opinion.
Okay, well, first of all, some people don't get any questions answered, and your little seconds piggy coming back for more. You're like, oh, the genie helped me with my first one. Maybe she won't be favorable to me. Sorry, I was watching Casablanca. I guess it comes from, if all of this is true, if you really think about it, it comes from a place of just wanting to spend more time with you and be around you. But ultimatums aren't, it doesn't sound like she has the ability to self-reflect. And if you've said to her, hey, like, I do make time for you, because you don't want to get into a tit for tat, because then she'll have an answer for everything. Like, okay, so 2 times I brought Derek, big fucking deal, whatever. She sounds super immature. Why don't you just say to her, hey, I feel like we both are coming from a good place of wanting to be with each other. I want you to know that when I hang out with you, it kind of hurts my feelings because you just be honest with her. Be like, I want to hang out with you too. But if you bring your boyfriend, it kind of changes the dynamic, and it's hard for women to hear that because I think she'll be like, oh, you're just jealous that you don't want to be with him. Be like, there's a reason women like to commune without men sometimes. Like if you're giving birth or putting on a girls only show and you just want to be able to share some stuff. Anywho, allegedly a girls only show. So, but women need it changes the dynamic when a boy walks in. It's just different. And so I think you just say that, be like, I just want to respect our time together, and be like, but it really hurts my feelings when you're saying I don't make time for you, and be like, I hung out with you here, here, and here. And like, be like, I don't want to go have a tit for tat back and forth. Be like, can we just move forward respecting the time that we have with each other? And she'll say yes, and then she won't do it, or she'll say something, but balls in your court is very hurt language. That's language from a person who really does. She's a little angry, but she does care, because if she didn't, she would just ghost. So just try to look at it like she really wants to be with you and she's making her own immature thing. You can't come back at her with, well, here's what you do wrong. But you can say, I totally hear you and I want to make this time. And sometimes it's hard to spend time with you because you're texting him, and I'm not attacking you. I want it to be quality time.
Yeah. I have friends who always bring their partner, and I just now am prepared for it. And if they don't, it's a pleasant surprise. But I actually have a close friend where every time we would go out, she would start talking to guys at a different table.
Yes.
And invite them over and be talking. And I walked out once and walked out of the restaurant and I left. And when she noticed I was gone, she was really mad at me. And I was like, look, you were hanging out with them. I wasn't interested. I thought we were having dinner.
Yes.
I don't want to do this. And she has brought it up every day since for like 3 years, but also she didn't do it again. So
I mean, there's also,
it depends how close you are.
It's valuing your time. And also, like, it'd be one thing, like, for Emily and her friend, like, if you were like, it's girls that, like, we're going out to meet boys. Like, if you're going out, but there are girls, I've been in these relationships where, like, you're just kind of there. And if I happen to meet a guy, great. Like, I'll just talk to him. And it's fine if, like, you're both at a bar and it's kind of like, look, guns out, tits out, let's do this. But, if you guys don't have the same goal and she's just ditching, look, 2 a.m., you're both trashed. She meets a guy, fine, goodbye, whatever. Be safe. But yeah, nobody wants to feel like they're just there as like a crutch until they can be a guy. It's a very young person problem or a very desperate person problem. You guys sound very young. So yeah, for all the young girls out there, your friend is not interested in hanging out with your boyfriend. And your boyfriend like kind of doesn't care either. So do you need that? Do you need that much attention? I need my people around me. Sorry.
Right. It's like
parched.
You can't be away from him for a few hours and talk to me. Like, what are we doing?
I love my husband more than anything. And like recently we got invited to a friend's child's birthday party because I'm at that stage in life. For a 1-year-old, I text her. I was like, hey, is Noah invited? It's totally cool if he isn't. She was like, oh my God, of course he's invited. I was like, he probably won't come. Like the guy doesn't care. Nobody cares. Usually couples want other couples, but your friend probably just wants you, not your shitty husband. This is just a general note.
Yeah.
Time away is good. Makes the heart grow fonder. Take a lap. Kick it.
Hey, I would love to hear what Eliza and Emily's opinions are on women being shamed for getting plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures. I recently discovered what kind of porn my boyfriend consumes, and it's eating away at my self-esteem because I had an idea of what he was into compared to my body, and what he is consuming is a little different. In the past, he has shamed women for getting plastic surgery, and I can't help but think that the only reason he is shaming these women is because he doesn't think he has the ability to get girls like that, or because he's so controlled by the media that he's not even aware of his own part in the whole ordeal. By the way, by the time you guys receive this,
I will have
Eliza
gotten
probably
plastic
had her
surgery.
baby.
I will have gotten a whole new face.
Congratulations. I want to add Eliza and her approach to life is such an inspiration to me, and I'm very thankful for her pod.
Oh, you should see me right now. Just leaking, bleeding. I'm inspiring.
She said to snoop her profile, and she's like an attractive young lady.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what he's...
But wait, shaming in conversation with you, or is he like in the comment section like, hey, duck face?
It sounds like in conversation that he is someone who's like,
first of all,
surgery, but he's watching, it seems, a lot of porn with a lot of like fake everything.
Yeah, I think you
Is
might
my
want to
guess.
ask him, like, what do you consider plastic surgery? Because there's also, men don't realize the extent of women's ability to transform themselves. Like, a lot of them don't realize those are hair extensions. A lot of people, I'm not great at spotting plastic surgery. Like, when someone shames a woman, like, look at all that filler, I'm like, oh, I didn't notice. Like, it has to be pretty poorly done for me to be like, oh, there's an uncanny valley of attractiveness. I think you're not his therapist. There is an anger toward women in our society. I write about this in Girl Logic. When women try to improve themselves, and either succeed, there's an anger toward women when they try to improve themselves, and there's an anger when it doesn't work out properly. Right. So there's this impetus, like, you all need to look young. Everybody needs to look full. And then when you attempt it and you get it wrong, which most people do, and I say wrong, like, oh, it's just a little off, or it looks a little fake or done. People and they want to make fun of you, not realizing that psychologically, the reason a lot of women do these things, whether it looks good or not, is because of that societal demand, because of that porn. So because men like him consume this and set that standard for what we think a woman should look like, that a vagina should look like a 2-year-old's or a brand new baby's little apricot vagina. Oh, after I wipe her, I blow on it so it gets some air and she loves it. It's just a little blow. I'm cleaning her. Just getting like Captain Crunch on her open vagina. It's all so connected, and there is that anger. There's an anger toward women who are attractive and an anger toward women who kind of fall in that uncanny valley. So I think it's a deeper conversation. I don't know if I also, to me, it's a bit of a red flag. Like, it's okay to watch porn, but like, if he's watching like a lot and they're super overdone, like, he kind of just doesn't know what's going on. I'm not shaming anyone for porn. I also think we talk way too much. Nobody wants to look fucking weird. So when someone gets work done and they got they thought I wanted this amount of CCs and I got this, or they got something done in it. Nobody meant to do that, And so if you just think about, here's a woman who is just trying to feel decent and good in a world that puts so much on women, and it got a little messed up. Like, none of these celebrities who get these big lips and it looks weird, like, that's not what their intention was. Think about it that way. Because you're kind of left with this choice as you get older. It's like, do you want to look like you got older, or do you want to look weird? And some women can pull it off. And if you do it super conservatively, I mean, Joan Rivers went in for like a routine procedure and she died. Like, just because you have money and access doesn't mean you're picking the right doctor. Doctors don't know everything. So just having a little bit of compassion. There's not one media clip of me out there talking about someone's plastic surgery other than my nose job. Which I'm gonna stop talking about because it's like enough already.
Now you got the baby thing. You can move on from the nose.
It comes from a catty place, and it comes from a place of insecurity. She knows she looks weird. All right, like, and also, dude, if you saw, like, you'd be fucking pumped to hook up with that girl with like fake tips and lips. So, as soon as society stops creating it and demanding it, women will stop doing it. But I don't blame anyone for doing it. I don't care if they do it. And if you can do it, without anyone noticing, even better. You don't owe anyone shit. What are you doing? Digging in that beanbag.
Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
All right, okay, we'll do top and then I'll do bottom. We'll both do tops. My top is this. I'm obsessed with her little baby. I was gonna say I had a baby, but again, sheep. My top is she has a tiny little back, and she's still young enough where she's curled up, so her legs are always crossed and pulled in like she was in the womb. And I was like, she looks like a little chicken, like a cooked chicken. And Noah was like, oh, a little trussed up chicken, like how they tie the legs. And her back is always kind of like she's always in a fetal position. And you put her on you, she looks like a pink tree frog. Because she stays in this little, like, curled up, and it's the cutest thing. So I just like that she's this soft little pink tree frog. Her little baby back, little spine, tiny tushy. Okay.
My
losing
top
so
is
many
also
listeners.
Your baby, in that when you sent me the first picture, I teared up. And then when you sent me the picture where both of you are in a picture together, I teared up. And then when I was on Noah's Instagram and I saw him holding her and she's so tiny in one arm. And I was like, I didn't know I would care this much about Sierra.
Thank you.
But
Also,
I do. I'm very invested.
I love that. I am not going to be that mom that just like sends pictures like, and if you need cheering
No,
up,
I
here's my baby."
demanded.
You did. And so unless someone says that, but I think people think because I didn't post for a while that something went wrong. And I know that there's people out there that think because I don't show her face that she's ugly. But Emily can attest to the fact she is beautiful.
She's very cute.
Yeah.
She does have like a little, I got to see her back. She has just the teeniest little body.
Yeah,
and just, I mean, even again, like Noah holding her and just seeing how small she is. It's just crazy. She's so small.
And she is 7 pounds. Like she's a full baby, but she's tiny baby.
A full baby.
Like she wasn't born premature. Like she came out 7 pounds, like 9 ounces.
Yeah. I mean, she's not small. Like there's something wrong
Right.
with her.
But she's tiny. She is tiny, tiny tree frog. So yeah, I don't have a secretly ugly baby that's like a wolf baby. I just don't want to show people. I don't want someone scanning her eyes and uploading a sex bot.
You don't want,
I don't know.
like just I think it like having this thing that's just for you and not having people like
Yeah.
take the picture and post it on their Instagram. And
Also,
I think
like-
that there's something to.
Also, like, why? Like, why would I give that to anyone? Like, it's enough. It's enough. It's so hard though. I have so many pictures. And it's like hard to like make funny things when it's like, I don't want to post pictures of like just a heart over her face. I think those posts are like annoying.
Yeah.
Like here's a bunch of
need to
clothes
start-
and legs.
Blur out Tianfu now because Tianfu hasn't decided to be on camera.
She hasn't consented. My bottom of the cup is this. We decided we just started watching a lot of movies and I'd never seen Casablanca, so we're watching it today and so emotional and it's such a good movie, obviously. That's my review. That's my letterbox review. Casablanca is a really good movie. So I'm breastfeeding her, right? And she's sitting on the breast friend and I've got the thing on her and I'm breastfeeding her. And I'm kind of, my boob kind of hurts today. So I'm kind of squeezing it because she kind of like falls asleep. You're like, hey, don't be lazy. Like we have to catch up to China. Like wake up and drink. And so I'm squeezing, just kind of helping it along. And she's drinking. And I look up and I'm watching like Humphrey Bogart and I'm watching and I'm like, oh, this is so great, so romantic. And I look down. She has completely stopped drinking. She is off my nipple. She's sleeping and there is milk all over her face. I've just been squirting milk on this child, like porn style. Sorry. Like unaware. She's just dripping in precious gold. And so I felt very bad, but she was completely unaware. It's like that scene in Billy Madison where like he's just sitting there spraying the kid with the hose and the kid's like, I don't even know you, mister. This is so weird.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, my bottom is I don't get to come give her a little squeeze on that little hand, that little face. I'm gonna have to fly out there when she's allowed to have visitors and come give her a little poke.
Would love to have you come and you guys can compare arms. Finally. I've been waiting forever to say that.
It's time to have your high five moment with High Five Casino, the top social casino where the action and real prizes never stop. Fun spins and big wins are right at your fingertips with over 1,000 games, including High Five Casino exclusives. High Five Casino is always free to play with free coins given out every 4 hours. Sign up today and get free welcome coins you can spin for a chance at cash prizes. Visit highfivecasino.com.
High Five Casino.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.